Hello and welcome to this mini oracle reading for the last full moon of the year with me, Ruth Ann Richards. And the last full moon of 2021 is on Sunday the 19th of December. And I've asked the universe for 3 messages to help guide us through this next new moon period until the new moon in January. So the oracle deck I'm using for this mini oracle reading for the full moon is Sacred Destiny by Denise Lim. Some beautiful images in this deck. So there's a lot of things going on at the moment. It's the full moon. If you've been having odd little dreams in the past few days, that's your brain processing. As we come up to the full moon, I get a lot of strange little dreams in the week up to the full moon. And also, we're living in quite an intense time still, aren't we? There's lots of intense opinions around us, a lot of intense views. There's a lot of disagreement about things. There's a lot of fake information out there. It's difficult to work out facts, truth, and what's an opinion. So we're living in very unusual times, and sometimes it can be difficult to make sense of all that. Plus, the full moon is happening in the lead up to Christmas, and many of us are planning for celebrations with our families that we missed last year. And family celebrations bring their own dynamics and their own people with their own opinions and views, etc. So we have a lot going on to contend with. So what are the messages that we have from the universe for this full moon cycle? Well, I'm going to tell you what all 3 are to start with, and then tell you the story that this gives us. So the first message is love, and we have an image of wild roses. Our second message is courage, and we've got a rocky shoreline here with some crashing waves. And our third message is openness, and we can see a full moon. Synchronicity, as I say, you can't write this stuff, you can't make it up. This is a message for the full moon, and here's a full moon which tells us that these messages are right on track for us. So let's start with love, and take a deep breath. I mentioned there's so much going on at the moment, and there's so much intensity around opinions. There's so much intensity around judgment and criticism and having to be right all the time. And that can be really challenging to be around. And the antidote to that isn't just giving more agreements to show people, or more arguments to show people why they're not right, why their facts are wrong, why their opinions are wrong. The antidote to all of that is love. And it's a time of year, isn't it? Christmas, when we think about love and we think about truth. And when I saw this message, it immediately brought to mind the film Love Actually for me. And if you have seen that film, there is a theme that runs through it about, well, when it's Christmas, you tell the truth, don't you? And most of the people telling the truth are truths around love. People who love one another, people who've been actually betrayed in love. But there is a truth around love and telling someone that you love them. So that's the strong message. It could be that there's someone that you need to let know that you love them, that you actually need to say to them, I love you. Or that in the intense times that you're having now, and the struggles you're having around you with people around you with different opinions, who believe different things to you, it's about showing compassion. You don't have to agree with people who don't agree with you, but show compassion, show some patience, show some tolerance, and show some love. Because actually, what's the sign of a civilized society? It's when you can still love the people who you disagree with, because love really does make the world go round. So showing love can be a small act of kindness. Showing love can be listening. Showing love can be saying, I love you to someone. Showing love can be making someone a cup of tea. It could be any number of things that show that compassion, kindness, and tolerance. So that's what it's about, this moon cycle. And this is a great message for the full moon, a great message for the week when many of us are celebrating Christmas. Remember, we're celebrating Christmas. Remember doing this, because we want the people we love to be together. We want to be amongst the people that we love. So show that tolerance and compassion. And the other meaning to this as well is it's about your own self-love. So you're getting yourself wound up because you've got so much to do. You've got a list of things to make, a list of things to buy, a list of things to do. Defrost the turkey at this time, do this, do that, do the other. Oh, just stop. You've got to put yourself first in all of this, right? So it's the old adage, you need to put your oxygen mask on first before you can help other people. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to do it all on your own. Ask for help if you need it, and show some love to yourself, even if it's just something as simple as going to have a bubble bath. Just do something that shows love to yourself. A lazy meditation with a cup or watching the clouds, watching some TV that just lets you let your mind rest and you don't have to think about anything. So our key message is love. And the second message is courage, which I thought was really interesting because, right, to love and show love and compassion and tolerance to people who are different to you, whose opinions you think are insane and you don't agree with, it takes courage to love. It really does. It's so much easier to go to the opposite, which is hate and dislike, and not tolerate and walk away from and not listen to. That's the easy option. And we have a lot of that at the moment, people where they're just using that emotion to drive their own agenda, whether it's on the political scene, whether we're doing it individually, within families, within relationships or situations. So courage. So when you hear me say courage, what does it bring to mind for you? Does it take you courage to love? Does it take you courage to show compassion? Does it take you courage to say no to someone that you can't do something for them today because you need to do something for yourself first? Those things are courage on a daily basis. Maybe you're an activist and you need some courage to do your activism work. Maybe you're volunteering in very difficult times and you need courage to do that as well. But just look around and what area of your life, what situation, what aspect, and it may be a relationship, do you need some courage? And courage is about speaking your own truth and expressing yourself. It's not about conflict, it's not about creating conflict. It's about expressing yourself and about how you truly feel. Okay, so courage and love. You have to have the courage to do things from a place of love and a place of compassion, and to express yourself and actually say what your needs are during this very busy Christmas period when we all seem to do the same things. We have traditions, we do the same things over and over again. And if something's no longer working for you and you need to do something different, it may take you courage to say that and express that. And it's okay to do that. And this represents the rocky shock, because the first time you use your courage to say no to something, it feels rocky. It feels like the waves are crashing in. But we all know that storms don't last. You know, storms do pass. So speak your truth, speak your courage, and it will be okay. And we know it will be okay because we have openness. And this is just a beautiful image of a new moon, and you can see around this kind of like marks and symbols for the constellations in the sky. And the full moon is a time to release those emotions you no longer need. So what stress have you been holding on to that has become a habit? You know, maybe a situation has resolved itself that caused you quite a lot of stress, but you're still holding on to that stress because it's a habit now. So for example, I was an executor of a will this year. That caused me more stress than I would have thought. And even though the situation is over, every time I talk about it, I'm holding on to that stress and bringing it up again. It's become a habit. And I can let that go now. I no longer need that in my life. The stress served me at that time, but it doesn't serve me anymore. And the message here is about openness. Look how much light is coming from that image. There's a lot of light and illumination that can come from a full moon. So what needs to light up in your life? And it's openness. And again, it's back to the openness of compassion, of tolerance and listening to others, but also the openness to know that things can be different, things can be better. You just need to play your part, and you need to look out for the signs around you. What are the signs that you can see, the little shoots that tell you things can be different, that give you hope? And this may be an actual literal sign as well. So for example, in my family, butterflies are a sign for us. When we see butterflies, it makes us think of a family member who died some years ago. So look out for signs, look out for lyrics in songs that actually trigger something within you or remind you of something. Look out for advertising posts or hoardings, something on TV that you see, something you read in a book. Look out for a sign this week that tells you you're on the right path and what you're doing is right. You'll know it when you hear it or see it or even feel it. So that's the mini oracle reading for this full moon for 19th of December. Our key message and what we're starting with is love. Come from a place of compassion, love and tolerance. Do it with courage. Do it with courage. And be open to the signs that come as a result of that. I hope you've enjoyed this mini oracle reading for the full moon. If you'd like more, then on the 31st of December, I'm doing a live broadcast. I'm going to do a full oracle reading. to review 2021 and the year we've had, and to look ahead at 2022. And it's about how we feel, what are the feelings we can let go of, what is all the conditioning we let go of in 2021, and how can we be and do the best for ourselves in 2022. That's the 31st of December, 10 a.m. If you look around this video somewhere, you'll see a link to register for that. I would love to see you there. And if you have friends who you think who would like that, please do send the link on and invite them to join us as well. Until then, bye.